Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We join you on this late July day as we are just about ready for the veterans to decide to play football again, as they will in training camps across America, especially with the Jets and the Giants, and join the rookies and get ready for the start of that football season, which is right around the corner. Remember, Labor Day is late this year, so take that into account. That last week's going to be a little different, but we got something planned for you that week that's going to make it a little more interesting. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, you can come be a part of the live broadcast as I'm returning to Bar A for the first time in a long time to Bar Anticipation down in beautiful Lake Como, New Jersey. So we're making a Jersey Shore trip on Thursday, September 3rd. Admission is free, day of the show, but you can also secure a VIP ticket ahead of time by going to the Bar A website, bar.com. That gets you food and drink and meet and greet and everything else. But we're going to be giving away a bunch of them too. So we'll be giving them away. So stay tuned for that. And we'll be giving them to folks who are part of the newsletter community. So all you have to do that is just go to MikeFrancesAPodcast.com and sign up. And the newsletter is free as always. Hey, we're going to have guests. We'll start the day with some of the other guys do some shows. Then I'll do a show from podcast from 4 to 6. We'll have live guests. We'll have prizes. We'll have music. We'll have all kinds of stuff. So listen, good way to spend the day. It's a beautiful place to go have a day. You know it down there if you're from the Jersey Shore. It needs no introduction. It's a famed place in its own right. We used to go every year. Always enjoyed it. Looking forward to going back. So we'll be at Bar A on Thursday of Labor Day week, Thursday, September 3rd. Labor Day is the 7th, and then football begins, obviously, right after that. Wall-to-wall football, as the NFL now has decided they basically want to take on every day of the week. I mean, which is not a smart move, which we'll discuss sometime during the year. Even the NFL can give people too much. And the NFL is almost there. Their popularity is almost uncontrollable. It really is amazing. Everything they do is bigger than life. I mean, you can see that. And I remember this conversation years and years ago. I can't remember what year, but it was a long time ago. And I wrote Jimmy the Greek's syndicated column when I was a kid. Pete Axelm wrote it, the great writer, Newsweek, turned it over to me at a young age. I worked for the Greek and I worked on the NFL Today also with the Greek and with Brent and Phyllis and Irv on that show for years. The great NFL Today. That's where I grew up. And I got to meet a lot of people because Greek dealt with everybody from politicians to entertainers to owners to players to everybody. Well, one of his closest confidants was Al Davis. And I used to talk to Al Davis. So Al, I remember telling me, maybe 40 years ago, maybe longer, these NFL franchises are going to be worth billions upon billions of dollars. And he was right. He saw it coming. He always was a visionary, but he saw it coming. And now you just saw Seattle sold for almost $10 billion. They're talking about franchises being worth $15 billion. Think about that. 15. These used to be mom and pop shops with a couple of employees, with family members. Okay. This now are huge corporations with hundreds of. They have employees now that don't even know each other inside these organizations. You have people who are on the business side, people who are on the marketing side, people who are on just on the football side. They're never the twain will meet. I mean, it's a huge business now, and that's why the days of owners like the Jerry Jones, like the Wellington Mara, like the Papa George Hallis. Those days are gone. They're gone. These teams are going to be owned by Wall Street hedge funds. They already are starting to get their way into these franchises. You've seen billionaire hedge fund guys buy into franchises in recent years. A couple of billionaires just bought into the Raiders, as a matter of fact. This is happening all the time now, and these franchises are worth insane amounts of money, and they are conglomerates. They're not teams anymore. They are conglomerates. That's what they are, and they're headed in that direction, especially in the NFL, because the money is so enormous. It has left the other sports in the dust, and it will continue to do so because of its TV popularity, which is it's the number one TV entity in the world. If anybody, if you gave a network or any nowadays saying network's almost old fashioned. If you gave any broadcast entity, anybody who produces television properties now, their choice, they would take the NFL over anything else. There's nothing they would take before the NFL. That's how important it is right now as it continues to grow. We'll get to the NFL in a minute. Let me start with the baseball now. In this town, the trade deadline has taken on an enormous importance for two reasons. One, the Bellinger injury now compounds the Yankees' problem. The Yankees need bats. Their pitching has been sensational. I mean, just sensational. And there's no reason it won't get better as Cole and Fried get more into a groove. The back of the pen's been terrific, but they can't score. Their offense has been obviously anemic. Now, you don't want to go out. See, the Yankees should know more than we know about the status of Judge and Stanton as far as September and October goes. We don't know. And I'm not sure they know about Judge's case because the ribs are very tricky. They're not going to go out and load up on right-handed bats to the point where they're just going to have too many right-handed bats once those guys come back. But with Bellinger out, probably what's a fair day? 17 days, say? Just cut it in the middle, say 17 days. He was just starting to hit again. He hasn't hit for any power. We know that over a long period of time now. He's gone, almost a month and a half without a homer. But he has hit like 350 in his last 13 games before he got hurt, and his defense saves games. I mean, a perfect example. I think the ball that broke the game open last night, the bases clearing double, I think Bellinger would have caught it. Girardi wasn't sure. I think he would have. I think he would have caught it. I really do. He's that good in the outfield. I mean, he saves games in the outfield. There's no question about it. And although he wasn't producing like you want him to, especially at Yankee Stadium where he is a home run threat, he's a presence in the lineup. He's a pro. He's a cog in the middle of that lineup. And right now, without him, you go against a lefty with Goldie and then Rice. Okay, that's fine. Or you go Grisham, Rice. Okay, against the righty. That's fine. Other than that, what do you got in the lineup? I mean, this lineup is, you got to go back to the days of Kevin Moss, the final lineup this week. I mean, and you can say two things. One, you are showcasing Dominguez and Jones. You're also exposing Dominguez and Jones, and you're giving them the opportunity to finally get a chance to play. So they can't say, "Oh, I never got a chance." I haven't answered any questions. Dominguez is okay. He's not knocking he's not knocking down any walls. Jones got a hole the size of the Grand Canyon in his swing. Um, they have huge problems in this offense now. Now they're gonna go out and they're gonna add a couple of, I think, guys who are veteran guys, probably who are gonna be here for the short term. A right-handed hitting catcher, which they clearly need. Um, maybe another bat of either side right now, just to give them a veteran bat to put in the lineup and put in the outfield. Get some at bats, even if the guy's here for half a year. I mean, they need that right now to finish this season and to try to win the division. He's still figuring on Judge and probably Stanton for the postseason. If you're not thinking about winning it anyway without those guys. It's gonna be very hard to do, even with the pitching. Now, the pitching's gonna give you a shot when you have this kind of pitching. But the focus has changed from them being dire about a reliever, and I don't buy the Mason Miller stuff for a second. I mean, if you're San Diego, you are demanding Lombard in that trade, or you're not even thinking about the trade. I mean, you'd have to be a clown to give up Mason Miller and not get Lombard back. So I don't see that trade happening. I mean, and there are a lot of teams trying to pry him away, not just the Yankees, a lot of teams, and a lot of teams with better farm systems. And the Yankees now, the thing about Lombard is we all know what the Yankees think of him. I haven't seen him play, obviously. But, you want to see him come up and play every day. Then you get a real look at a guy. You don't know until you see that. You can tell me he's going to hit now. Come up here. Supposedly his defense is really good. Okay, wouldn't be hard to be better than the Yankees guys. The Yankees have shortstop now anyway. But you're going to tell me he's going to hit now? You're going to throw him into a pennant race? He's going to hit? I don't care if you're a really good rookie. That's asking a lot. That's asking a real lot. Come up and hit in a pennant race. So, to me, they're going to have to go out and pry away just some useful bats that can get them from point A to point B, even if they don't even play in the postseason, even if they ride the bench in the postseason or aren't even on the roster because the way things shake out. Doesn't matter. Can they get them from point A to point B? They're not looking for. I don't see the Yankees making a blockbuster here. The only way I see them bringing back a big veteran with a big contract is if they take Miller and the Padres make them take a big contract back. That would be the only way that the Padres say, "All right, we're not going to ask for Lombard. We're going to make you pay our contracts here." And the Yankees agree. I don't think the Yankees will agree. I don't think they will. So I don't think that will happen. But they need bodies now. And let's be honest, Dominguez and Jones aren't enough to carry him. Now Rice is Rice. He's having a terrific season. He's having a prolific power season. He's doing the job. It's a lot to ask of Goldie at this point. I mean, he did carry them for a long time. Then he went into a horrific slump. He's come out of that a little bit. It's a lot to ask. They are really, really weak. They're not going to beat good pitching right now. The defense is only ordinary. And they're not going to beat good pitching. And that's a problem. I mean, listen, unless they pitch lights out, which they're capable of doing. I mean, their pitching staff right now is a real strength. And it could be a real strength the rest of the season. I mean, it could be special. And the bullpen's been surprisingly good. They've done a nice job of reclamating guys in the pen. We give other teams credit for that. We've always given Tampa Bay credit for that. We talk about teams taking guys and fixing them. The Yankees have done a nice job reclamating some guys in the bullpen. They really have. Very nice job in that regard. You got to give them credit for that. But right now, their lineup is woeful. I mean, it's been bad at the bottom all year, but it's woefully weak. But what do you expect? You're taking Judge, Bellinger, Stanton out of the lineup every day. That can be your 3, 4, 5. You take any team's 3, 4, 5, especially the best player in baseball on offensively. On top of that, that's asking a lot. It really is. You go a little ways without a player like Judge, it's okay. But you go months on months, it's tough. It really is. And if they don't get a well pitched game, and you saw the Phillies, I mean, I don't like the Phillies. First of all, their defense is atrocious. Secondly, I mean, if you're smart enough to work carefully, especially to Schwarber, and even less so to Harper, who's having a weird year, the rest of that lineup stinks. I mean, I'm not worried about pitching to that lineup any day of the week and twice on Sunday at all, and they don't catch the ball. Man, their defense is atrocious. I don't like what I've seen from them at all. I'm gonna tell you this, if you see them enough the last couple of weeks, especially, Dodgers are so much better than everybody else's, and if they get the pitches back, they are gonna be impossible to beat. Really hard. I mean, they're just better than everybody else. Flat out, they're just better than everybody else. Case closed. They just are. If you can't see that, you're not paying attention. They're just better. I'm not saying that no one's unbeatable in baseball. You know that, especially if your pitching shows up. Pitching and timely hitting can beat anybody in a short series, but they are really good. Now, I talked about the trade deadline from the Yankee standpoint of acquiring. What will they do to acquire? Will they take back contracts? I don't see a lot. Will they trade Lombard? I don't think so at all. Um, will they make moves? Yes. Will they be aggressive here? Absolutely. One thing you know about Cashman, he will be aggressive here. I would expect 2 or 3 moves. 2 or 3 moves. And maybe even a more prominent bat than you were expecting. If it's one they can get back, because all they have to do is pay some cash to do it. Not outrageous cash, though. I'm not talking about taking back one of the San Diego contracts. On the other side, the Mets have the for sale sign out as big as Queens. Okay. Now, the Mets now, if you give if you give Bichette and Lindor the night off, it's like a double A ball club now. I mean, it's just awful. All right. I mean, with Soto now gone, probably. I mean, you're going to tell me he's going to come back the last 10 days of the season. Exactly why? For what reason? I mean, he'll play again this year. Oh, really? Why? He's going to come back September 20th? Well, looking at it, it's late July. It's late July. You're not going to see him before Labor Day. At the earliest, it's talking 6 weeks. Calves are, as you know, impossible. And what are you rushing him back for? For what reason? To a team that by then will be 25 games under 500. You got 5 guys 3 pitches and 3 players who are going to be the core. And Stearns wouldn't even call Lindor part of the core because they'd love to trade him if they can. The question is, will anybody nibble? And at what cost? How much do they have to take back? What's the deal? That kind of thing. Like Lindor could help teams. The question is, does he want to go? He's got a no trade. Number 2, we know we're looking at a lot of money. He's an aging player at a position that doesn't suffer age well. There are other shortstops on the market. But, hey, he would help. I mean, let's be honest. You plug Lindor in at shortstop, for the Yankees and gave them a catcher to use a couple times a week like Alvarez, I know he wouldn't be able to pitch. He wouldn't be able to catch. Coley wouldn't be able to catch Friedad have a fit. He's not a catcher. He's not a good catcher, but he hits a lot of home runs. He's a good offensive player. Um, that's a fit, but it's not going to happen. There are other teams that could use him. No question. A lot of teams could use Lindor's a good player. I'm not knocking him as a player. It's over here. It's over, and they all know it. They have 6 guys. You got Soto and the 2 baby outfielders, which they want their outfield to be those 3 guys next year and build around that. They have now added Thornton to Scott and McLean, so now you have 3 starting pitchers that they're trying to talk about that they can build around. Thornton's been a very pleasant surprise, obviously. 6 guys. That's their core. No one else, anyone else on the team is obtainable. Soto, the 2 baby outfielders, and the 3 pitchers stay. Anyone else is on the block, and they're open for business. How many trades are they going to make? I would think 4 would be on the slow. I would say it's between 4 and 7, and 4 is on the remote side. I think they make closer to 6 trades or 7 trades. Move 7 guys. They're going to move guys, and there are a lot of teams buying, so you could spread them out. You can spread the relievers out. Roberts hit a couple of long home runs. You can get him traded. Taylor has done some things and hit some home runs recently. You can get him traded. I don't think anybody's touching Polanco. I think the only way Bichette goes is if he would declare that he's going to opt out. But why would he do that? He's not going to do that now. So I don't see him being traded. Yes, I could see Lindor being traded. I think, though, obviously, it's going to be a hard fit, considering the no trade, considering his age, considering I don't know what teams he wants to play for, and considering the contract. He's hit better of late. Listen, we all know Lindor can play. We all know he's a good offensive player. Is he a great shortstop? Anyone? No. Can he play the position? Yes. All right. Is he a good offensive player? Yes. He's got a surprising power. When he gets hot, he can really he can really help a team. I'm sure with this awful season and his awful existence since Soto came to the Mets, I gotta believe he would love to be energized by being thrust into a pennant race with a team that has a chance to go to the World Series. That would be I mean, I would if I'm him, I wanna do that. I wanna turn that around. I know here I'm never the guy. You see, this was his team. They took this team away from him in a big way. You have to understand it. If you look at it from his standpoint, you can understand it. This was his team, 100%. And they handed it to Soto. Soto got twice as much money. Soto's the man. He has to live with that. He hasn't liked it. We know that. We'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. But Stearns, listen, I almost get the idea when I watch Stearns in these press conferences that he still has this smugness that is outrageous considering how bad they are. And he almost makes it sound like they're just bad this year and it's disappointing. He forgets they were bad last year. This is now 2 years they've been bad. He tries to talk about a year. Hey, no one cares what you did in the first half of the season last year. For the season, you stunk with a huge payroll. You didn't make the playoffs. You collapsed late. You couldn't put a pitcher on the mound who could pitch 5 innings. You completely collapsed. You couldn't beat the Cincinnati Reds. So don't act like it's 1 year, it's 2 years. Last year was a year. When the year ended, they stunk. No one cares where they were in June. No one cares. That doesn't matter. It's what you did for the season. Now for the second straight season with a huge payroll, they have been insanely disappointing. This year, mind-bogglingly disappointing. They're as bad as any team in baseball. And some of these guys, you just look at them like, Polanco's got to think he's in, the twilight zone. After the year he had last year and what he did in the postseason, you must think he's in the twilight zone right now this year. Wait, I could play this game. I don't know what the heck happened. I used to be able to play this game. I come here, I can't play this game anymore. And we have seen that before. We have seen the Mets turn gold into straw from a baseball standpoint on numerous occasions. I can start uttering the names, and we all know them. And with no rhyme or reason, for guys just collapsing, just better players than Polanco, just completely collapsing. So the interesting part, and that's it for the Mets. I mean, listen, maybe you're a diehard and you care how many, what Ewing's OPS is, or care how many games, the baby pitchers win, or, fine, you're a diehard. You're going to have to be a diehard to go to the ballpark. That's for sure. Tickets are going to be available. That's for sure. At a cheap price. There's nothing once the trade deadline's over, there's nothing even to discuss with this team until next year. Nothing. Now the interest is through the trade deadline. You got another week of this. And that's it. That's all that's left in the season. It will be an interesting week. We'll see who goes and where they go. Some guys like Peralta are just going to have to give away. Somebody will take them because you know what? Why not? They took Peterson. Peterson's pitched okay for Milwaukee. Pitched better than okay, as a matter of fact. I mean, for the Cubs. He's pitched better. He's pitched okay for the Cubs. He's pitched well. He's pitched a couple of decent games. One really good game. I think he threw 6 1/3 scoreless last week. So the bottom line is he's thrown. That's what you try to get guys who have done it in the past and see if you can figure out. And it happens sometimes. Guys get hot. Oh, I got him, and he's thrown great for 5 starts. That's all you're looking for. All you're looking for is him to go out there and throw well for 6 or 7 starts and get you into the postseason. That's what you're hoping for if you get him. That's the idea. Pick up a bat. Hope the guy wins 3 games for you. I mean, that's what you're looking for. That's what's left in this season. You're trying to pick things up in increments. And the Mets have a lot of those guys they can send to teams, and they want to send them in the worst way. They come in all shapes and sizes this year. Call up, and hey, it's a seller's market. The Marlins now have joined into the sellers group. The Giants have some guys to sell. I don't think Colorado's going to be selling a lot of guys. The Marlins, now with their losing streak, are going to turn into sellers. The Mets are obviously enormous sellers. We are now days away. When I do my next podcast, which will be after the vacation, we will be probably through the first or right around the first preseason game. We'll have had a couple of weeks of training camp. Things will start to take shape. I've talked in the past about the optimism. Okay. The scrutiny on Harbaugh now has gotten almost silly because you know what it is? The Giants are so happy they have Harbaugh here that they have presented him in every possible way, to every possible outlet, to every possible avenue. and people are tired of listening to him now. So now they're starting to really take apart his words because they're tired of hearing him talk. Now it's time to put the team together. And the worst thing to me that's happened to the Giants is they have become everybody's team this year. Everybody. Oh, my dark horse, my sleeper. Giants, Giants, Giants. Every national guy, Giants, 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 Giants. Giants going to the playoffs. Giants going to win a playoff game. Giants going to. Hey, hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. This is not, as we start training camp, this is not a good football team. This is a team that has to show that it can stop the run. It has been disastrous at stopping the run, and its best run stopper left town. Now, they didn't stop the run with him, so they can not stop the run without him, which is what they probably figured anyway. The bottom line is they have a ton of work to do, and part of this first year is going to be a weeding out process. There are going to be players that Harbaugh doesn't want here. He's going to get rid of the ones that don't belong, and there are some here. Don't kid yourself. Plus, you got a quarterback who is still wet behind the ears and has gotten way, way too much acclaim and has become way too much of a celebrity. That has become it's a theme I started talking about months ago, and now I hear it everywhere. But listen, the bottom line is it's true. They have to touch the brakes on that one too. Scatterbo doesn't worry me. I don't care about his backflips. He's a whack job. Okay, that's who he is. He always could almost get hurt. All right, that's going to be his life. He could get hurt probably as much walking down the street as he could in a football game. I mean, he's just that kind of guy. He's a wrecking ball. That's what he is. That's why I love him on the field. Just let him be who he is. That's who he is. Some guys you can't change. I don't think you can change Scatterbo. But the quarterback has to be refined to become the player he's supposed to be. Probably people comparing him to Joe Willie Namath. Don't compare him to Joe. He has no right to be compared to Joe Namath. I mean, come on now. Get real. He's got a lot of work to do. I like him as a quarterback a lot. Everyone talks about the running and everything. You know what I like about him? He's got a pocket presence. And you don't teach that. Quarterbacks have that or they don't have it. And he has a pocket presence. And I think that and accuracy are the two things you have to be a good quarterback. And there are so many other things that come into it too, toughness and smarts and a million different things. And it helps if you have escapability, which he clearly has. And he has more than that. He has a forward ability to run. And he has a attitude that you like, which you don't want to temper too much, but you have to temper a little. But that team has so much work to do on defense and has to learn how to complement and play a three-pronged game. Now, Harbaugh knows that if he can get this team to run the football, it automatically makes his field position game better. It automatically takes care of the clock by making the game shorter, and it helps his defense immeasurably. So it works in a variety of ways to make the team better. And this is going to be a three-pronged team because this is a special teams coach who puts the foot in football. This is a guy who wants to run the football and play physical football, which is what Giants believe in. And obviously they believe in defense, but they don't have a good defense. They have a pass rush, but they don't have a good defensive team. They have a lot of work to do. If I got a competitive 8 and 9 that missed the playoffs, that weeded out the guys and put the people in place for year 2. That to me is what this year is about as much. It's a important learning year for the quarterback, and it's put people in place for the next 4 years. That's what this year is all about. That's the most important part of this year, not making the playoffs this year. It's putting the pieces in place so they can build the right way for the next 4 years. Under this quarterback, years 3 and 4 are going to be golden opportunities, and they have to be utilized. Those are golden years with a young quarterback. Harbaugh knows that. And Davis not being put on PUP is a positive. It doesn't mean he's gonna play game week 1, but it's a positive. They have a lot of work to do. And remember, there's gonna be a weeding out process. He's gonna chase some guys out of here as he commands the culture. But I think what's happened is the people are tired of hearing him talk about Giant history. He's been talking about it for months now. Now it's time to play football. So forget that stuff and stop grading his performances as far as, whether he gave an emotional speech or not, or the players responded adequately to the motivational talk he gave. Talk was in April. As far as the Jets, it's a completely different set of encyclopedias. Glenn has to prove he can coach. He has to prove he can command a team that should be better just by the presence of Frank Reich. Their coaching staff was substandard last year. It was completely inadequate. Their coaching was inadequate. Their play was inadequate. Their quarterback play was so inadequate it was almost bordered on the absurd. Geno Smith is not an embarrassment at quarterback. He is incredibly inconsistent at quarterback, but he's not an embarrassment. He can get the ball down the field. He could throw a 50-yard touchdown pass. Last year they couldn't throw a 15-yard out. Okay, this year they can complete passes downfield, and they have offensive weapons. And their offensive line should be just about ready to pop. The question I have, I want to see right from the get-go. And I expect nothing but platitudes in training camp, and I'm not that interested in what I see in training camp from them. I'm going to be incredibly interested in what I see in game 1, what I see in terms of game plan, what I see in terms of crispness, what I see in terms of execution and direction and stuff like that. It has to be improved so dramatically from last year because they were embarrassing last year. And Glenn won't survive 8 games like last season. He won't survive. They'll pull the rug right out from under him. And the GM won't go anywhere, and he'll pull the rug right out from under him. That's a new dynamic. Bottom line is they should be better because they can't be worse. They have brought in better football players. Now can they coach them? Now can they lead them? And can they do the 2 things you have to do to play in this league? Give them a plan they can win with and make them play hard. That's what your job is as a coach. Give the team a plan it can win with. Make sure they understand what their job is, that you've done a good job explaining to them and teaching them what their job is, and then get them to play hard. If you've done that, you're 3/4 of the way there. And it's about having the right players and having, in this league now, the right quarterback because you can't win without him. And he's not here yet. And there's a whole bunch of quarterbacks coming next year. And some good ones. The first thing the Jets and Aaron Glenn have to prove is that they have command of this situation. I expect that they will show that. I'll be surprised if they don't. But I want to see it in practice in week one. They're week one. See, I know the Giants are going to be ready to play. They might not be good enough to win, but they'll be ready to play. They'll have a thoughtful game plan and they will be ready to play. They might still be short on ability. That could definitely be the case. They might have still have some glaring holes. That remains to be seen. They got a lot of work to do. Remember, in this league, you don't stop the run, you're not going to win. And last year, they couldn't stop the run at all. I don't care that you say, "Oh, look at the improvement." Look who they played the last couple of weeks. That's why you saw improvement. They played the Vikings who had no offense. They played the Raiders who had no offense. That's why the numbers were better. The week before that, a beat up Washington team ran for 140 on them. They have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. But it's going to be a vastly more interesting year now. And the Giants have a real coach for the first time in a long time. And that's a distinct positive. Huge change. And there's no question about that. Like I said, we're heading towards August. Take some time. Enjoy your summer. We'll be back in a couple of weeks and we'll get rolling towards the football season, which to me can't come soon enough. I'm ready for it. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to the Yankees and the postseason. Always look forward to that. But you know what? Looking forward to it. We'll see you later.